So we always want to go faster with our networking. Yeah, I got gigabit, 24 port switch. Yeah, you can band, you can team ports together, make them 2 gig, 4 gig, do whatever you want like that. But it's always would be neat to do 10 gig, 20 gig, 40 gig, 80 gig, or whatnot. Well, I was given some hardware to play around with, and it's these old cards, HPE Infiniband, and there's the HP number. This is what they look like. They have a proprietary port on them, and which takes a proprietary cable. A lot of the newer cards have the SFP Plus port, which will look like this, or they'll have this other port, and usually you can slide the SPFs in and then add your cable to if you want fiber or if you want to go with the regular style. So here's another one. But so I had these cards, and I thought I'd give a play. While doing some searching, you look down this list, and the card is right here. Okay, so it's a dual port DDR card, which I believe is supposed to be 20 gigabit. And I was like, you know what? It'd be nice to get 20 gig connection. So, so I started out with the very first step. Install it in Windows. So I have a machine here. Let's go ahead and go to it. Show you real quick. As you can see, it is set up at 10 gig. But before I got to this, it took me a while. The first thing I had to do, go to Device Manager, and under System Devices, Mellanox will show up. And it had an exclamation point. And the driver wasn't loaded. It said there was, on this page, it says the device is not functioning correctly. So the first thing you do is you go to Mellanox and you download drivers. Mellanox ConnectX drivers. Okay. So we come down here. This is an older card, so you need OFED for Windows 550. So I downloaded that, and then you need their other tools. There is so while reading up, I also found out you want to flash the latest firmware that you can. So when you come down here, let's see, 550, Windows 10. So here's where you'll grab the actual software there. What that'll give you, it's right, we could do it that way. So you'll get some tools, and let me double check. Here we go. So Mft Firmware Tools. You also need this to be able to read the firmware. So I downloaded this, and I will tell you this card is so old, I actually had to go to an older version. I ended up going to Archive 3.5.1. That's interesting. Archive version. Alright, it wasn't 3.5.1, it's 3.5. Windows, all. And I'm running a 64-bit machine. I downloaded this, okay? Now, once you install both packages, I don't know, I'll do it on my main machine to show you. I know I'm all over the place with this, and that's just how it was while I was doing this. So if we go CD program files, Mellanox, okay, I don't have the tools here. Nice. So let's run through it. Let me hold on. Alright, so for now I'm just going to go ahead and install the Window Mft 64-bit. Hope I don't have to reboot. So next, accept. Probably don't need these. I went and installed them. Okay, finish. Let's do another directory here. Okay. So you end up with all these tools here, okay? Now, I have up on my other screen here so I remember. So, MST. So this is one of the commands, mst status. And I looked and went, oh, okay, cool. It sees the card. So then you can do a query. Oh, not status query. We just do a query. Let's see. mst status v. The biggie is, though, is it's reading the card. So that's right. So in the older software, the commands have changed here and there. So manager query. So it's interesting. I can't find a device ID, and it's giving me all this issue, right? So I'm sitting here going, oh man, failed to open device. We have an issue. So that's when I realized I have to uninstall the new one and install the older one. So as you see, 4.11. Alright. Alright, so I don't have it saved. Let's go ahead and just go download it. So, Window Mft 350. Let's save. Alright. And like I said, I was running into that query not found and all these issues, and Win Mft. Let's do mst status. See, it's not even fully installed here. So anyway, let's go ahead. So I'm actually, this is remoting. I'm remoting into another machine of mine, but my main machine has one of these cards as well. And I don't have a cable long enough to run it where I need to yet. Alright, we're going to go ahead and install these anyway. And this video is going to be all over the place and whatnot. Okay. Let's try this again. So let's try mst status. Same thing. -v, same thing. Now, if you notice, it's a little different. It actually came up and it read it. So I was like, wow, this is really interesting. So the current firmware version is 2.8. What I found was anything under 2.8, Windows 10 had a problem with. Actually, anything under 2.7. So 2.7 would work and 2.8 would work. So what happened was I sat back going, okay, let's go and take this number and let's do firmware. So I did a quick search, and if you look here, there's the 2.6. So right here, version 2.6. I said, oh, that's not good. That's not going to work. I have 2.7 on my, I had 2.6 on it already. So here's 2.8. Now, even if this all says Red Hat, you see this file, I downloaded this, okay? And then I flashed it with that. So you do it all through a DOS prompt, and pretty much the command to flash it once you have it. So let's go ahead, just for simple sakes you could see. So I actually have a 2.9, which I am going to do in a little while, but let's go down to FW ConnectX-2. Right, I'm not going to use that. Alright, well, looks like I'm going to go through just to show you. So I come down, we save, open folder. So there's the bin file. Just to make things easier, what I've done, just going into C, program files, Mellanox, Window Mft, drop it here. Because in my command, so another little utility I saw, IBV dev info. Port down, Well, it's interesting. The port's down. Why is it down? Oh, this is on, like I said, this is on my local machine. If you come back over to this guy, IBV info, port active and port down. And as you see, firmware 2.8. So anyway, so I sat here and it told me our firmware version was 2.6, but it would still read the card. It would still do certain things. It just wouldn't load the drivers correctly. So all you have to do is Flint. See, it comes no options found. So Flint-D, actually, let's do this right, MST status. You need to grab this guy down here, right? Now, Flint-D, this is your device, right? This is the device you're going to flash. And -I, now you need your firmware, and this is why I put it in the same directory. FW, hit tab, there it is. And then burn. Now it says the new is not newer than your old. Now you would just, it wouldn't even say this. It would say, do you want to flash? You say yes. Now I'm going to say no. Now, once this happened, I think, all right, so let me show you. So the next thing was, you have to go back in the device manager. I was like, okay, now I got to load the drivers. Well, I did find out a secret. When you flash it, reboot. When you reboot, originally under network adapters, these did not say Ethernet. I'll show you why. And they said IPOBX. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? What's going on? And I actually found under System Devices, you scroll down, here's Mellanox. Double click it. Somebody said what I needed to do was go into port protocol and change it to Ethernet. This tab did not exist no matter what I tried. And this is what it's like default when it is there. So what I had to do was go to driver, update driver, browse my computer, let me pick, have disk, and what you want to do is go into C program files Mellanox, and you go in here, and you go into hardware, and you choose this guy. And when you do, you just walk through, and it'll come up, and you close like that, it'll flicker, and you double click it, you end up with the port protocol. Now, like I said, it will look like this. To go Ethernet, you uncheck, and you go Ethernet. Now, I still have a problem with these cards. It's telling me port 1, port 2. You see it reads port 2 down here. I cannot get port 2 to work. It will never give me a link light. So, just to show you what it would look like by default. So, see how it's flickering on me? Come up. This is what they showed up as originally. Then when I went down here and told it Ethernet, it'll flicker again on me. And again, come on. Then they're like this. Now you go in them, and it should have all this info. Now, if this it gets even better. So just because I did down there and I came up here and I didn't have all this, I didn't have advanced, didn't have information, and I'm like, what is going on? Once again, driver, it said Microsoft, but had the correct version. So update driver, same exact thing. You walk through, have disk. Now you do not use this when you go up into ETH, and you use this driver. And there it is. You say next. Okay. It'll flicker on you. You close it. You go right back in. And then you'll have all these other options. Okay. So, that was all of that. That's the initial piece. Now, this is going to be a peer-to-peer. I don't have a switch to use for them. I wish I did. So, let's go ahead and take the next step. Now, with doing this, I actually used my one machine here, my main machine, and I flashed every firmware I had to 2.8. Now you can force 2.9. And what I did was I Googled, let's go back over here. I think I lost the page that I originally had. The page I had that showed this guy. I actually took this and searched for drivers for that. And let's take a look. And look at that, 2.9. Now, this is X, I believe this is X-Connect 1 through 3. And this is X-Connect 4 or 5 and whatever these other things are. So we're going to download this now. Wrong one, of course. Of course, that's the wrong one as well. So we will go ahead and save, open. We will take this firmware, as I've done previously, drop it here. And just to show you it done. Alright, let's do .9. Let me look at something else I have. Hold on. Okay, let's give us another chance here. So let's go back up to Flint. We have this guy. Now we're going to go ahead and do FW. There's the 2.9 dash bin. Alright. Now, you see that? By using this dash allow underscore PSID underscore change, I did a quick Google. Say be careful, you can brick your card, but path to firmware, then allow this to burn. So we'll say yes. Now it's taking a little while. Now this is going to get rid of whatever the HP firmware, whatever custom set for HP is now going to be gone. And this is going to a standard Mellanox card. Alright. So let's go to, there we go. It still reads the card still looks okay. It's changed, say, HP underscore 09 down to MT. So, all in all, MST still sees the card, things look good. IV stat was another little utility I found out. It tells you number of ports. Sees firmware version 2.8 because we didn't reboot yet. You have to reboot. So anyway, that's how you can also do a custom firmware. But now let's get back to the next part of this. Close all. Alright. So I have a server and I have this guy. So this guy 2.8 port is active. ipconfig. There's my 2. This is actually my 10 gig. So this is the IP I gave it. On the server over here, I did 10.61.1.1. We're getting a ping. Okay. Now on this guy, we're going to go through. We're going to do C drive, new folder, test. Alright. We're just going to go ahead and add everyone. Share. Now, there it is. And if we wanted to, let's go ahead. So this is set up. This is pretty neat, which I'll show you this in a second as well. But if we take a file and we copy it over there, right? It's going. Seems okay. This server is using hard drives. If you see my stable bit drive pull video, it's spinning hard drives all pulled together. So that's not bad there. What you can do, which really makes, oh, and it's also a spinning drive on the other side over here as well. So what you can do is you can install RAM disks on each side, and then you can also go from there. It's memory to memory. So let me, oh, this one is in the RAM disk already here. Let me go ahead and install RAM disk over here. So, all right, I had to reboot my PC. All right, it's up, but what I wanted to show you is, so the IM disk is pretty cool. That's the app I'm using. All right, I'll log in this. All right. So like I said, all these drives are all hard drives that are pulled together. But this IM disk allows you to take how much memory you want to take. So I did 10 gig. And then NTFS gave it the drive. And you say, okay, well actually click mount. And then it will mount it for you. When it does, it creates a drive that's within your memory. And then you can create a folder, which I did temp. And I shared temp out. And then I have this here. So we should be able to go IM disk, and let's see. Alright, this is the mounted image file, which I don't want. IM disk, because I haven't used this stuff enough, so let's go general settings. That's not it as well. IM disk, general. Alright, same thing, 10 gig. R drive over here as well. NTFS, say OK. Alright, disconnect this undo, whatever. Close. Now, we should have an R drive. And we have one over here because I told it to create the temp file in there. So we leave this up. I believe if you close it, can you close it? Yeah, you can. Okay. Now, 10.61.1.1. Temp. And there's that Mac file, which is sitting here. Drag, drop. Copy here. Look at the numbers, how much better. So you got to be careful because you can also, your machine itself can be your bottleneck. You have to figure out which parts. So let's do this again. 10.66.1.1. It's this guy, so I'm going to delete this. Copy here, come back over here, take a look. The numbers are going. Now this is an old card, so it could be my limitation here. Alright, so definitely. Now, what I can show you is, let's do the same thing. We're going to do 10.66.1.230, so you can see I'm actually connected back through my 1 gig connection. And not sure what I'm going to grab. Okay, so here's where that same exact Macintosh is, but if you notice, the network's going to be different. So we're going to copy that right to desktop. And we should notice the numbers should be totally different. In the 100s first, we had in the 5s before. See, dropping way down. So this is showing you, and look how much longer it's taking. So we definitely know the 10 gig network is working. So pretty nifty. Cheap cards, cables. It's almost so if you have to buy it, unless it's handed to you, not really worth doing, because you can go ConnectX-2 or 3 cards, which are newer and probably a lot easier to deal with. But anyway, it was just a quick video. I hope any of this helped you out. All right.